It's not part of our consideration.
Your economic policy is looking for a lower New Zealand dollar in order to help the export sector. Yet with the New Zealand dollar so high, it means petrol prices and, in fact, food prices are mitigated by that, and they'll be higher if the dollar was lower. How do you get those two things together?
Economics is a dismal science. When something that benefits you on one hand and you regard as good, you know that it'll be hurting you on another front. But frankly, with high inflation and with a dollar that's now estimated to rise back into the mid-80s against the American dollar, that's going to hurt a lot of our exporters, particularly in the manufacturing area, and that's going to damage employment prospects. And one of the very bad things about the current level of inflation is that medium incomes have actually fallen, according to Statistics New Zealand. They've fallen because a lot of people are now out of work. That makes it even harder for those families to make ends meet when they've lost family income at the same time as prices have gone up.
So you're saying a high New Zealand dollar is a bad thing, but it's a good thing, because you're talking about these necessities, petrol prices, food prices.
If you're looking from the perspective of a competitive manufacturing and export industry, a dollar that goes way over 80 cents is going to cause real damage. Yes, it helps sustain imported costs at a lower level, but then maybe we need to look at how we can find alternatives, for example, to imported fuel, and that's through areas like biofuel. That really starts to make sense when you look at the rising cost of fuel.
If you look at Australia, the dollar's 104 against the US, and they're going gangbusters.
Well, they are, but that's because a whole lot of things that they've done have been the exact opposite of what the national government has done in this country. They've promoted innovation and creativity, for example, through a 15% R&D tax credit. They've focused on skilled training when this government has ignored it. They gave stimulation across the economy rather than just to people at the top. All of those things mean that the Australians have been doing better, and the wage gap has grown, not shrunk, as National promised.
They've also focused on mining.
Economy, do you think